There's a student, an alumnus of Dordt College that I know, who told me this story. They were on their high school campus visit going through the science building. James pulled the group into his lab and spent 15 minutes showing him the exquisite beauty of the experiment that he was working on in biology. That student said right there he decided he was going to attend Dordt College.
I'm James Mahaffy. Grew up in East Africa, in the highlands of Eritrea. I had chameleon lizards. This is the African chameleon lizards, which are cool, man, not like the US ones. And we had a klipspringer, which is a rock antelope, for a pet. Living close to God's world out there, developed an interest in biology. I married a lovely lady, Florence, from northern BC. Why she agreed to leave those beautiful mountains, I don't know, but she did, fortunately for me. A lot of my job, especially early on, has been teaching non-majors. It was both a challenge and it was interesting when you could get people to really understand the biology or very basic chemistry in a way that I think is critical actually for the non-major.
He teach large classes, but he always had time for the individual student. And if I had concerns about a student, I know I could always ask James, James, what can you tell me about this student? And if he didn't know, he would pull them aside in his office, talk to them, and then he'd let me know. He'd say, hey, this student has been struggling with this. I'm going to work with them on the side. I'm going to help them get through. It was always a matter of him trying to find ways to help students.
He really is willing to go above and beyond the call of duty and making sure, you know, that student who's really kind of embarrassed that they didn't do well on a test, that they're gonna show up to talk with him about it, to review it.
He'll go to the Sioux River for shark's teeth and leafy liverworts at Oak Grove. He'll point out cougars in Mahaffy rattlesnake habitat, and you don't stop him, he'll tell you some stories about them.
James has this wonderful ability, whether it's in lectures or casual conversations, to look at things in the biological world that many of us take for granted, and to show people the intricacies of God's design. It's that contagious excitement for learning and discovery that marks James Mahaffy, I believe, as a biology professor at Dordt College. Each semester, each year, to be able to take students really on a journey of saying, God put this together in a special way, and if you see what I see, you'll love it.
I've always said that James knows more strange things about more strange things than just about anybody that I know. Next time you see him, make sure, if you really want to get him excited, right, you talk to him about Mahaffy habitat, Mahaffy historical ranges. That's really what gets James going.
I am probably one of the experts in the country on historic populations of rattlesnakes. The one you probably think of is a big timber rattlesnake, gets to be about 6 feet. But then I found out there's another rattlesnake that I never even knew existed, which is the Mahaffy, or a swamp rattlesnake. I think there are only 2 people in the country that bother looking through these old records to find where rattlesnakes used to be.
James's research interests in cougars and rattlesnakes in particular, Midwest historic early American rattlesnakes, the societies in Minnesota and Iowa look to James as an expert in terms of their historical research. That's helped put Dordt on the map.
I have a bunch of good data on rattlesnake that ought to get published. They'll keep me busy for several years just getting it published.
James, maybe a little advice. Take a break once in a while and go see some relatives and take your wife along. You know, not just you. Take your wife along and stay for more than 72 hours.
My wife would like me to take more vacations to the West Coast when I retire. Her family is mainly in British Columbia. You may know that's quite a ways from here. My dear mom is in Texas.
So James, in your retirement, Dordt College says thank you. Thank you for bringing the intricacies of God's design through biology to many generations of Dordt students through your teaching and research.
I don't think my legacy is really important. as it is that I have pleased the Lord in the faithful working I have done in training students at Dordt College.